so in this first part, I'm going to ask you some questions about yourself. So do you work or are you a student?
Well, I'm currently a master's student in my final year, so I'm just a few months away from graduation.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you some questions about getting up. Okay, so do you like getting up early in the morning?
Well, I'd say it depends, because on weekdays, I prefer to start my morning early to make most of my time, while on weekends, I'm all for a slow morning where I can sleep in and recharge.
And what did you do in the morning when you were little, and why?
Well, when I was a kid, my mornings were pretty routine. I'd grab some breakfast and head off to school for morning reading sessions.
And did you used to do some house cleaning when you were little?
Well, absolutely. Cleaning was part and parcel of my daily life. I used to be in charge of dusting the furnitures in our living room, and I would clean each piece with a soft cloth, making sure not to miss any spot.
Okay, and what housework did you like and not like doing?
I would say I'm quite fond of vacuuming actually, because I find it satisfying to see all the dirt disappear. But when it comes to cleaning the toilet, that's a different story. I just can't stand with all the germs and a smile.
Okay. Now, in this second part, I'm going to give you a topic and I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, you have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say and you can make some notes if you wish. Okay, do you understand? Here is your paper and your pencil. Okay, and I would like you to describe a person you know who loves to grow plants, for example, vegetables or fruits or flowers. Okay, you should say who this person is, what he or she grows, where he or she grows them, and why they enjoy growing plants. Okay, you can make your notes now. Okay, so your 2 minutes starts now. Don't worry if I stop you. I will tell you when the time is up. So please start speaking now.
Okay, there's this one person I know really well, my mom, who's absolutely passionate about gardening and growing plants. She's been into it for years, and now our backyard is pretty like a miniature jungle. So she grows all sorts of things actually, from flowers like roses and tulips to vegetables including tomatoes and lettuce. And she grows all of them in our backyard. Along the sides you can see flower beds and a small greenhouse where she grows some tropical plants that need a bit more warmth. Also, she's got some potted plants on her patio, so basically wherever there's sunlight, she will find something to grow. I think what's most inspiring about her is how much joy she gets from it, because she always says that it's therapeutic, like a way to escape from the stresses of daily life. And also, she enjoys the sense of accomplishment that comes with nurturing stuff and watching them grow. Not to mention the practical benefits, like she can get fresh and organic vegetables straight from her garden. And I would say it's also a great way to connect her to nature, especially considering that she's in the middle of a busy city.
Okay, thank you. So we've been talking about someone that you know who loves growing plants, and now I'd like to ask you 1 or 2 more general questions related to this. Okay, so would you say there are many people who grow vegetables these days?
I would say it depends, because in urban areas, fewer people grow their own plants because they are limited for space and life tends to be pretty fast-paced. That said, I actually noticed a trend lately for people to jump on the bandwagon and start growing their own plants. Things like balcony gardening and also community garden plots. In rural areas, on the other hand, it's more common for people to do so because they have larger yards and farmlands where they can grow their own produce. Also, I think a lot of people nowadays see growing their own plants as healthier and more sustainable, especially with all the concerns about pesticides and food quality these days.
Mm-hmm. And do you think it's good to let children learn how to grow things?
Well, absolutely. I would say it's a fantastic idea for children to learn to grow stuff. For one, it teaches them responsibility. Obviously, they have to take care of the plants consistently, watering them, checking on their growth, and making sure they're healthy. And also, it's a great way to connect them to nature, which is becoming increasingly rare nowadays as so many children are glued to screens. Also, it's a great way for them to enjoy such a sense of accomplishment, especially when seeing a tiny seed turning into a flower or vegetable that they can actually eat.
And what do you think about the job of farmer? How do you think that would be?
I would say the job of farmers is one of the toughest but most important jobs in the world because obviously they are the ones who put food on our tables, and it's not an easy job because they have to deal with a lot of issues like weather conditions and pests messing up their crops, and these things are largely out of control.
Okay, and finally, what do you think are the main differences between modern agriculture and traditional agriculture?
Well, I say one big contrast goes to the use of technology because modern agriculture relies heavily on advanced machinery like tractors, harvesters, and also some high-tech tools like the GPS systems to monitor the crops and improve efficiency. Well, in contrast, traditional farming is more about manual work with simpler tools and techniques that are passed down through generations. Another aspect would be the scale, because modern agriculture is more industrialized, often prepared to meet the global demands, while on the other hand, traditional farming is more localized and often centered around feeding a community or just a small family.
Okay, thank you very much. That is the end of the speaking test.